I'm going to provide a brief update on the storm and its expected impacts to the Jacksonville area and share about the efforts we're taking to prepare for this incident. At the last report, this tropical storm was located off the western coast of the state near Tampa and is predicted to move northeast into our region throughout the day tomorrow. The National Weather Service has issued tropical storm warnings and watches for portions of northeast Florida. Additional watches and warnings may need to be issued today, but at this time, no watches or warnings are currently in effect for Duval County. This storm will bring a slight risk of excessive rainfall and moderate to high winds throughout our area for most of the day tomorrow. Due to the higher than normal tides, we may also see some flooding. That's why today our public works teams have been proactively working in areas that we know have historically presented challenges. There will also be high risk along our beaches today and tomorrow with rough surf and life-threatening rip currents. I know that many like to walk out on the beach in storms like this one, but please stay out of the water. You're putting yourself and you're putting our first responders at risk. Additionally, because of this tropical storm, there's a small craft advisory in effect for most of the coastal waters. Here at the Emergency Operations Center and throughout Jacksonville, our teams are closely tracking this tropical storm. As I said earlier, Duval County is not under a tropical storm warning or watch at this time, and we do not expect to be. However, we do expect some wind and rain during the day tomorrow. I've instructed key agencies and departments to be prepared in the event the situation changes. At this time, we are not closing city offices or departments, nor are there any mandates for private businesses. While we don't expect any significant impacts, I'm asking everyone to use extra caution if they need to leave your homes tomorrow. Let me clarify a point. You're going to hear from Dr. Diana Green at Duval County Public Schools in a moment about some actions they're going to take given the situation they're facing and the tools they have to deal with this. This is a decision they're making in the best interests of their students. Private schools and private businesses are not under a city mandate. They can make their own decisions at this time. Jacksonville Fire and Rescue, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, JEA, and Public Works Department have crews standing by in the event any power outages or other conditions are created by wind and rain. We do not anticipate ordering evacuations or the opening of shelters at this time. And as I just mentioned, all city offices are open tomorrow. The peak of the event should be sometime between 1 and 5. Before I turn the podium over to Sheriff Williams, I encourage all citizens to stay informed, monitor updates from the National Weather Service, make one last check of your supply kit, review your emergency plans with your family. In short, be Jax ready. I know this has been a rough year. 2020 has been something else for our country, the world, and our community. And experiencing a tropical storm in our area after the end of hurricane season just adds to it. Proud of the people of this city. I'm proud of how you've handled and how you've dealt with this year, this difficult year. You're smart, you're compassionate, you're resilient. Thank you for all that you do as the people of the city of Jacksonville. With that, I'm going to invite the sheriff up. Following the sheriff will be Dr. Diana Green from Duval County Public Schools. Then we'll have Director Woodard from Emergency Operations Center and Chief Castleman from Jacksonville Fire and Rescue. Sheriff.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to briefly address the bridge question that we get. Remember, bridge closures require a 40-mile-an-hour sustained wind. We don't anticipate that. However, we will have people monitoring those winds to make sure that we don't, exceed that threshold. And if we begin to get close, obviously we'll be briefing out through the media to let people know. We don't anticipate any closures of the bridges, but we will be in place monitoring those. So, thanks.
Out of an abundance of caution for our students, delivery of students by transportation tomorrow afternoon, we have decided to switch to online instruction through Duval Homeroom. All classes for Thursday, November 12th will be held through Duval Homeroom. Our elementary school classes will begin online at 10 a.m. and conclude at 3 p.m. Secondary school classes will begin and end at their normal time. Students that attend Duval Virtual Instructional Academy will do their work in their normal platform. Students should plan to be online to begin classes at the appropriate time. Families who may not have laptops can use their cell phones to get email assignments and instructions for their students. All after-school activities for November 12th are canceled. There will be no school lunch deliveries on November 12th. For our employees, all personnel will work from home with the exception of school police. At this time, there are no changes expected for Friday, November 13th. Please continue to visit our website for further updates.
We work very closely with the National Hurricane Center and the local National Weather Service office in Jacksonville. We get continual information and updates from them. New reports will come out in advisories at 11 o'clock tonight and at 5 a.m. in the morning, and we will continue to monitor those and track the system until it clears our area. Thank you.
Our largest concern with a storm like this is localized flooding, down power lines, down trees. So with that, we have personnel who are special trained in urban search and rescue, ERAT, and swiftwater rescue. Those individuals have all been notified. They've been put in a standby posture, have been rostered essentially, and they stand by ready to assist with whatever the needs are locally and or regionally. Thank you.
With that, before we take questions, again, I would just like to say to all the veterans, it's Veterans Day. We appreciate you. We had a good event this morning and a nice parade to honor you. We thank you for your service, and with that, we'll take questions.
Mayor, we know this is really not going to be a beach event, but there could be concern in the low-lying areas around the rivers, the Revault River, for example, which is already, we saw a little bit of flooding today. How are you dealing with that, or what are you doing out there? We were out there today, and I did not notice crews there. You said they had been around today?
Yeah, Public Works has been out today in areas that we know, many areas in our city that have had historical problems with flooding due to storms coupled with tides. What I can tell you is they're aware of those areas, and they've taken the action they can when we know an event's about to happen, and they'll be prepared to react on the other side of this. Obviously, if people have a medical emergency, they should call 911. Our 630 city offices open tomorrow morning. This event comes tomorrow, so those are live at 8 a.m. in the morning. If those offices, if 630 city needs to be open beyond standard hours tomorrow, we'll make that decision tomorrow. And if people are facing those kind of issues that are non-life threatening, they can call 630 city.
Mayor, should people living in those low-lying areas expect to possibly not have access or expect roads near their homes to be flooded tomorrow?
Look, I mean, there's no model that says that's going to happen. It could happen. With a weather event, we know there's areas that are prone to flooding. But I would say we're not under evacuation orders. We want people to be wise and smart. If someone gets in an emergency situation, whether it be a water event or something else, call 911, and our men and women are going to come get you.
And then if you want to echo a reminder about driving into standing water as well.
Yeah. So should not be driving into standing water. First of all, it's dangerous for you personally and those in the vehicle with you. Secondarily, it can ruin your car. Be a very expensive repair. So don't drive into standing water. Look, we don't expect down power lines, but they could happen. Obviously, don't touch them. Don't get around them. Just be smart. Take precautions. Don't run generators inside of your house. And just be vigilant.
Dr. Green, I wanted to ask you as well, for families who may end up losing power at some point tomorrow, what can they expect in terms of being online learning?
If families lose power and they're not able to access Duval homeroom, we will make sure that they get the makeup assignments on Friday when we return back to school.
This obviously had to take you by surprise. It did a lot of people. The track of the storm has just been haphazard. Were we really ready for this? I mean...
Oh, yeah. Our Emergency Operations Center has been manning this, like every storm, for days. Many days, so absolutely ready. And look, an event like this, you may not hear from government because it looks like a rain and wind event, but I realize that the change in path, that people woke up this morning and they were seeing other county warnings, and it can get confusing because the media market is large and covers up multiple counties, and people may be scared and concerned. Again, weather's unpredictable. It's predictable. There's obviously meteorologists, but it can still change. So knowing what we know now, normal day tomorrow for private businesses, city government, unless they choose otherwise. Obviously, Dr. Green has access to virtual learning, so they have access to take this precautionary measure, and I applaud her and them for that. But I do think it's important because there will be confusion when people see the stories tonight. Private businesses, private schools, non-governmental entities, it's up to them to make their own decisions. The city has not issued any mandates.
Hey, Dr. Green, do you suspect a problem with businesses remaining open, city offices remaining open, yet the students that were going to school will not be going to school?
As you know, as of March 9th, for an entire semester or more, students were on Duval homeroom. So this is not something new for our families. They understand that we are making this decision out of an abundance of caution because in the afternoon, we do not want our buses to be in a situation that may not be appropriate for students to be riding on a bus or being dropped off at a bus stop.
Any more questions?
All right. Thank you. Everybody be safe.